Right, so we're all out flying, most of us anyway. There's a few that have come back in. You can see they're down here, but they can't get into the food yet until everyone has finished flying, because we've got a bunch that are doing reasonably well. I'm not sure where they are. I can see one up there by itself, but there is a bunch of them somewhere. Oh, there they are. They're up there. It's reasonably warm today, but there's a lot of breeze, so they're really sort of taking that advantage of it. Like, it's actually quite windy, but doesn't seem to bother them too much. You can see by the trees that we've got quite a bit of gusty wind there, but they are just really enjoying it. Mongoose anyway, so they're probably the fitter of the bunch, maybe. I'm not sure, because the other ones are all panting inside, but I'm sure these ones will be panting when they come in shortly. Which yeah, they're trying to get in there, but you're not going to eat just yet. Yes, I caught you too. Patch and Storm are mating again, which, yeah, that's a good sign, considering their baby's only quite young and he's not happy with me. Look at him. He's just like, nah, I can see you coming in here. You're going to be as much character as your father, I think. It's going to be a bit of a interesting one. So we'll have a bit of a look, because a few things are starting to happen and a few hatching. Oh yeah, the father's in on the eggs, which is good, and you'll see these guys have picked out probably mostly the safflower and a few other bits, like the vetch. Looks like they've taken some peas as well too, and a few of the other seeds, which is really good, because I do want to try and wean these out pretty early, and there's a lot of food in their little crops. I'm just really impressed with these little babies. I think these are going to be little rippers. You can see they're nearly feathered up under there too, so they can't be too far off. Getting ready to move them across, which is part of the last wave of babies that are coming out. This is the only pair that I've let just go down the second round, because I do want a few more rounds from these guys. I might even keep some to race as older birds. That's something I want to try. But you will see we've got this one hatched. Look at that little baby there. He's so fresh. The other one is chipping as well, so it's really good to see. This is the first baby from this pairing as well, so it's going to be interesting to see how this one turns out, even though they are just blue bars and checkers. But you know, it's interesting to see who they look like and what genetics have been in there and all sorts of stuff. Who's fighting over here? Oh, it's you two. Oh, look out, he bet. He's the winner. He's growing on me, this guy. He's a bit of a dominator. Are ranging, which is good to see. They're just sort of coming back now, flying in around those trees, so they've been right out over there, which is good to see. There's some old birds in there too. These guys will range, because I do have more young birds than old birds, but I'd say, you know, 3 or 4 of these in here are the older ones, so I think the numbers are sort of swaying them out so they can go ranging, which is really good. But I think these will range anyway. I think because there's a lot more young birds. There's probably 10 old birds, and there's going to be like 70 young birds, so they'll most likely follow them. I think I just heard someone land on the roof there. I don't know what he's doing. He's a bit confused. We'll have a look over here while we're waiting, because they'll it's good to see that those ones are flying like that. And there's all the young ones, new ones. Look at them just relaxing. They are sort of settling in really well, which is good to see. Very excited to see how these guys mature out. Someone's coming in behind me here. He's definitely panting. Well, that's good. He's getting some exercise. That's what I want to see. We just, every day we get a little bit more progression. Oh, here they come. Come on. They might take a little while to come in, because they're all panting a little bit. But, you know, this is summer. Just do what we can do. Come on. Come on. They're slowly coming in. They're just sort of having to enjoying that cool breeze under their wings, I think. Alright, so most of these babies are done. I'm only waiting on one out of there. I think both of these have one dud in the nest. So I took that one out last night, which under shock threw that away because it was no good. And this one might be the same, but this one's a little bit further behind. So we'll probably be waiting another few days before we see some chipping action there. And that's not your nest, so you need to get out of there before you get yourself in trouble, girl. I think she thinks she's paired up to him. She's kind of doing that bobbing, but he's not happy about that. We're going to shut down the breeding soon anyway, and I'll separate a lot of the hens and cocks and only pick out the pairs that we want to utilise for our final one loft team. But yeah, they're all doing pretty well. I'm happy. These babies have been doing really well, flying around the loft, so I'm pretty happy how they're going. I may race this hen again this year. We'll see. I don't know. We've got a lot of birds, which is good. We'll just lastly check in on these guys, because these are turning out to be some fantastic colours. Can you see this? Look at that. Two very interesting colours in these guys. Definitely two types. We've already got this colour here flying around. That's Speedy Blue Grizzle. Is that kind of colour, but this is just a darker version of it, and I don't know if there's bars on there. Is there a bar on there? There might actually be a bar, so that's going to be an interesting little colour combination. Look at this guy. And I've only got two. Oh, there's Speedy Grizzle down there. So that's the kind of grizzle we're going to get. One of those, and then like a darker version, which is, it's a very interesting colour. Not like the traditional grizzles that I'm used to. So I don't mind that. That's like a weird colour. Come on, you're going to miss out on food. And our last little is Whiteface. She's a pretty good flyer. I'm pretty impressed how she's been doing, considering with, you know, for a tiger grizzle. But you know, let them all finish their eating. I may get these ones out for a fly shortly as well, and should be good. Gosh, look at you little guys. You still think there's a in the nest or something? I don't know, all crammed into one perch like that. That's all right. We'll let you go a few more days. That's the only one out of these is actually an older one. That's the hen that we'll definitely try and breed from her this year. I think that might be Maverick there, is it? No, Maverick's down here. You're a pretty little bit grumpy too. I think that's 3 of a kind there. Yeah, that is 3 of a kind. Definitely one to watch is 3 of a kind. We've got New Sensation as well, which is the nest mate to that. So at this point, they're both looking like cocks. They're both about the same size. This is one cockbird that I definitely like to try with Storm. I was going over the Pedigree today and I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. But it'll be interesting to see how those babies fly, which is definitely something we're working on this year, is really getting a good test. Yes, I know, we're coming back. You're getting a bit funny, like I don't know if he's your brother or your uncle. We're gonna have to get to that when I get around to sorting your pedigree out. I think he's the same way bred as Rosetta. Maybe he's a brother to Rosetta. He's just so grumpy. But this is one of my favourite ones, which is New Moon. She's a beautiful little hen. So, like, just gentle. She's really, really placid too. But I think once she gets a little bit older and she starts filling out and maturing, she's going to be such a beautiful little hen. I'm saying hen at this point. She's very henny. So that is one definitely to watch out for. They're all beautiful little pigeons. Oh, that's the nest mate. That's New Sensation, I think, there. So that's a nest mate to 3 of a kind, which I think this one will be nice too. Could be a hen though. It's a little bit bigger bird, but it's kind of got a bit of a henny face on it. But you know, we can't really tell 100% yet until they get a little bit older. But I'd say this one's definitely a cock. Hey? Anyway, I'll catch you guys tomorrow.